Right after I graduated high school, I attended Pasadena City College. Took theory and orchestration, music theory, these kind of things. Talk about a fish out of water. Mathematics completely befuddle me. I can spell the word 8 in 9 languages and recognize it in 12, but I can't add it with anything. I was in classes with the Van Halens. It was at this precise moment when all young new musicians are making that decision. Are you going to go commercial? Are you going to be a sellout? Are you going to be a cloying, result-oriented infidel making money? Or are you going to pursue the classic left bank, I come from nowhere and I go home to no one kind of approach? The Van Halens, as Mammoth, have been playing backyard parties for a number of years. We're very adept at what they played, but they couldn't get any jobs at dance clubs. Now my band, Red Ball Jets, had broken up, and I had a little PA system that again I signed a contract with my father for, and worked to pay it off. A little club-sized PA system. The Van Halens would come over to the house and rent my PA system when they'd play these parties. But they weren't getting the shows in the bars. They couldn't understand why. I explained to them one day, it's because you play all 20 minutes of I'm So Glad by Cream, complete with a drum solo, live, note for note. And it's very impressive, but you can't dance to it. That's not, excuse me, do you come here often music. The club owners described it as too psychedelic. The band couldn't get arrested. I said, now I can dance, and since you're always running my PA system and coming back frustrated, I'm in a position to assist. I will personally check every song for danceability. We'll play rock tunes, but ones you can dance to, like Walk This Way by Aerosmith, ZZ Top's Waiting for the Bus, or one of those songs, Just Got Paid. That's a very danceable song. It's rock, you can dance to it. They consented begrudgingly. Lo and behold, we started getting club gigs. We started working 45-minute sets a night, running the dance contests, and so forth. What's more, they didn't have to pay me to rent for the PA system anymore. It's what in business is called an inducement. At the same time, we were in junior college, Pasadena CC, theory and orchestration, music theory, harmonic structure, etc. I learned a tremendous amount, but was flunking out dually. Ed Van Halen and I took vocalization class, learning to sing, learning how to use vibrato. For our final exam, it was a one-semester course. You had to do a song, and Edward played acoustic guitar and did the Blind Faith tune, Can't Find My Way Home. He played the guitar exactly like it was on the record. It was very impressive. I sang Go Away Little Girl, the Donny Osmond version. Alex Van Halen was knocking out 18-piece rock jazz ensemble arrangements for West Side Story that nobody could play in 11/14 time, 11 beats per bar, and had to go from instrument to instrument showing these befuddled students how to get to the first coda. One of our teachers' claim to fame, at the time, was that he was a professor of music and Frank Zappa had studied under his tutelage. Now he brags that he trained the great Van Halen. From him, I learned a singular phrase that I use to this day. If it sounds good, it is good. 2 rules to music. Number 1, if it sounds good, it is good. Number 2, there ain't no other rule. Well, I quit, auspiciously, but I did learn a handful of cool harmonic structures, a couple of hybrid chord changes, the basic theory of melody, and just little elements, bits and pieces. Played saxophone, also took piano lessons, got exactly nowhere, but still gleaned little elements here and there. More than anything, it taught me to make a commitment to what you were doing in music, because it was my first experience with detractors. My own colleagues were my detractors. You guys play ZZ Top and KC and the Sunshine Band, and you get paid for it. You're a sellout. I had conviction behind that. It forced me to stand my ground, to reconnoiter my own position in the face of harsh, critical assessment from my own peer group. We played the bars religiously, as often as they would let us. We learned hundreds of other people's songs. James Brown, Ohio Players, Led Zeppelin, ZZ Top, didn't matter. We learned them. We played in places so small that Alex would have to tape his wallet to the skin of a snare drum with gaffer tape because the owners would complain that his snare drum was too loud. We would have to hang blankets in front of a single amplifier because the guitar was too loud. This is where my pitch was first developed. Hey, don't forget, ladies in free before 9, 2 for 1. Dance contest Wednesday, division finals twice a year, happy hour from 5 till February, and on and on. You had to keep up the rap, and I would personally check every song for danceability by dancing to it. A totally hip car that would run effortlessly was $1,100. A pair of amazing killer platform shoes with boot tops that went up to your knee from Fred Slatton's cost $65. Top of the line. Pair of pants, brand new designer jeans, were about $30, $40 with tax. I bought a little Opel Kadett station wagon for $1,100. You could fit one PA speaker in the back compartment and one PA speaker on the top. All the gear, the brains of it, the controls, in the passenger side. I remember one day the passenger side window became unglued from the ratchet inside the door and the glass fell inside. So I pulled the glass out with a pair of pliers and plugged a couple of number 2 pencils into it to keep the window up. Ultimately, of course, the pencils popped out, going over speed bumps where the Pasadena freeway turns into the North Hollywood freeway. The glass fell inside and smashed into a trillion little pieces inside the door. It sounded like a giant maraca. So on my next visit to the Salvation Army, I bought a big wool blanket, kept it in the back seat in case I went on a date. Girlfriend at the time would complain, "When are you going to do something about all this?" Her little haircut's getting blown to pieces out in the freeway. I said, "Honey, something's being done." She says, "What's that?" I said, "Summer's on the way." Bumpered somebody coming home from the beach that summer. Wasn't looking, rolled 4 feet into the car in front of me. Lunged the front bumper. Dented the hood cover so hard they couldn't get the hood open. So for the next 2 years, I carried a shovel in the back of the car, in case I needed to open the hood. You'd have to get out there with a shovel and get some leverage. I would come home from club gigs, and getting the PA speaker out of the back of the car was easy. Getting it off the top of the car, read 6'2", I'm only 6 feet in my stocking feet, so I'd pull it off the edge and start to fulcrum it. It would start to get off balance, and I'd get the base of it onto my chest and start to lower it to my legs. I'd get the speaker coming off the top of the car and onto my chest, get it positioned, and then start lowering it using my legs, bending my knees. You didn't want it to roll onto your side and break something. That meant money spent. I would routinely spend a half an hour in that bullfrog position with a 300-pound speaker sitting on my chest, trying to figure out, okay, where do I go from here? Today, I have the front of that car. A friend of mine, Ted Rosenthal, is an artist. I'd had the car sitting in the backyard ever since 1969, all the way up into the late 80s. Ted worked a lot with an acetylene torch, and I had cut off the whole front engine compartment, with the front tires and the grill, the whole front windshield, and in the hallway, in my house in Pasadena, at about 5.5 feet up the wall, we bolted the whole front engine compartment. Sticks out of the wall by about 6.5 feet. With the tires, the grill, the front window, and then we went to Ellis Mercantile, who supplies props and such for movies. We bought a stuffed deer in full bounding gait, sawed it in half, right past the withers, smashed out the driver's side part of the windshield, and stuck in just the ass and the back legs, like we drove the car and hit it and then somehow careened through the wall. The title of it, My First Deer.